I think Gervonta Davis is probably the greatest fighter around now, but he's got a tough fight coming up.
I think I do have more skills than Mike Tyson. Far as like, I mean, when I say I have more skills than Mike Tyson, guys smarter than like at a lower weight class always have more skill. It's no heavyweight ever in life.
You're the boxer and he's the puncher.
It depends on how I'm feeling that night.
Depends on how you're feeling going into the fight. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling like Mike Tyson today.
Gervonta Davis went wild as news broke that Mike Tyson had joined the Lamont Roach's camp for their highly anticipated rematch. The announcement clearly struck a nerve with Davis, who voiced his frustration over being constantly compared to Tyson. "I got that power of punching. I got more skills than Mike Tyson. Facts is facts." Davis declared unable to hold back his emotions. His frustration boiled over as he questioned why people fail to acknowledge his superior skills, making it clear that he feels underestimated. Davis adamantly rejected the comparison, saying, "I'm not a little Mike Tyson," asserting that he's carving out his own legacy in the sport, while Tyson's legacy looms large in the boxing world. Gervonta believes it's time to shift the focus. He's tired of being seen as a mere echo of Tyson's greatness and wants to make it known that his skill set and fighting style are far beyond what the boxing world might assume. With the rematch approaching, Gervonta is ready to show that he's not just following in Tyson's footsteps, but paving his own path. His frustration is palpable, and he's eager to prove that he's on a completely different level. Gervonta Davis didn't hold back when expressing his disapproval of Mike Tyson's decision to fight Jake Paul, calling it a stain on Tyson's legendary career. Who told Mike Tyson to fight anyway? Davis questioned, clearly frustrated by the move. He expressed disbelief that Tyson, one of the greatest boxers of all time, would step into the ring with a celebrity like Jake Paul, who has no professional boxing pedigree. Davis went on to say that Tyson's decision to take the fight tarnished his legacy, for Gervonta Tyson's reputation as a fighter should remain untouched by such controversial bouts, and this move only diminished the respect he commands in the boxing world. Gervonta's strong words reflect his belief in protecting the integrity of the sport and the fighters who truly define it. He's upset that Tyson, a living legend, would risk his legacy for a spectacle.
Following the Tyson fight, tell us, exactly why expound on that.
Cause why would he even want to fight him? And who told Mike Tyson to fight anyway?
Do you think that it might have tarnished Mike's legacy in a way?
Yeah, they did. They definitely did.
When Mike Tyson was asked if Gervonta Tank Davis reminded him of himself, given the many comparisons fans and analysts have drawn between the two, Tyson responded with a lighthearted laugh. "I don't know, just maybe getting in trouble with the law," Tyson said, dismissing any connection between their boxing styles or approaches to the sport. For Tyson, the only real similarities seem to be their shared history of legal issues, something that has been a part of both their lives. Tyson was quick to clarify that the comparisons often made between him and Davis in the ring were not accurate. He made it clear that while both have had their share of personal struggles, their boxing styles are vastly different. Tyson denied that Davis's approach to the sport mirrored his own in any meaningful way, pointing out that while he has a unique, explosive fighting style, Gervont's technique is entirely his own. Tyson's comments underline a broader perspective about legacy. While he acknowledges the parallels in their personal lives, he insists that Gervonta Davis is his own fighter, with a future that belongs to him. Tyson seemed to appreciate Davis's talent, but made it clear that the comparisons are misplaced when it comes to boxing, emphasizing that no two fighters are the same, regardless of their personal journeys outside the ring.
Davis, a lot of people say he reminds you of them. Does he remind you of yourself?
There we go. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe just getting in trouble with the law. Other than that, no.
People have started comparing the first fight between Lamont Roach and Gervonta Davis to the famous matchup between Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield. The parallels between these two fights are intriguing, especially considering that both scenarios involved a heavily favored fighter facing an opponent who was seen as too small or underdog, just like Tyson was considered a destroyer, an unstoppable force in his prime. Tank Davis was widely believed to be the bigger, stronger fighter heading into his first encounter with Roach. However, much like Tyson's shocking loss to Buster Douglas, Tank faced unexpected challenges in his bout with Roach, which left fans and analysts questioning his dominance in the Tyson versus Holyfield fight. Holyfield was viewed as a significant underdog, yet he managed to frustrate Tyson in ways no one expected. Holyfield withstood Tyson's powerful punches, and the fight ultimately turned, the tide giving Holyfield the victory. Similarly, in the Roach versus Tank fight, Roach frustrated Tank, showing a level of resilience that few thought he had. Roach didn't get the win, but he made Tank look uncomfortable, something that had never happened before. Tank was hit with clean punches, but he never seemed to truly hurt Roach, much like Tyson never fully hurt Holyfield.
Face off against one another. One guy was a massive favorite, had taken a loss, and was seen to be too small, right? And I'm talking about Evander Holyfield versus Iron Mike Tyson. Iron Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield was a major fight. A major fight. But Iron Mike Tyson was viewed as a destroyer, okay? He was the baddest man on the planet. He was indestructible. The fact that he lost to James Buster Douglas was an anomaly because Mike Tyson wasn't focused and he overlooked.
Both fights show the mental and physical toughness of the underdogs. Just like Holyfield's win over Tyson, Roach's performance against Tank has made people talk about what these fighters can really do when things get tough. The similarities between these two big matchups make the rematch even more exciting, as fans wonder if history will repeat itself.
Now, Lamont Roach didn't get the victory, but he frustrated Tank Davis, and we never seen Tank Davis look like that in the fight. He hit him with a shoulder bar. He tried to bite him at one point in time in the 6th round. He took a ill-advised knee and didn't get counted in the 9th round, right? A lot of things took place. He never truly hurt Lamont Roach, hit him with good, clean punches, but never got hurt. Lamont Roach ate the punches, similar to Holyfield.
When Showbiz the Adult mentioned that Lamont Roach has shared the technique to beat Tank Davis, he was referring to a unique insight into how to neutralize Davis's strength in the ring. According to Showbiz, Roach possesses an in-depth understanding of Tank's fighting style that few others know, which could be the key to overcoming the powerful and elusive fighter. He emphasized that Tank is exceptional at controlling distance, which is one of his main advantages in the ring. Davis excels at staying just out of reach of his opponents, using his footwork and timing to land powerful punches while staying protected. The comparison to Mike Tyson is especially notable. Tyson, like Tank, was known for his knockout power, but Tyson's strength was most effective at mid-range, when opponents got too close to Tyson. He struggled to land his signature punches effectively. Showed the Adult pointed out that this is a potential vulnerability Tank shares with Tyson. If an opponent can close the distance and avoid Tank's reach, it could limit his ability to deliver his usual devastating blows. What Showbiz is suggesting is that Lamont Roach has discovered this crucial aspect of Tank's game, his reliance on distance, and has developed strategies to exploit it. Roach's knowledge of how to break down Tank's approach could make all the difference in a potential showdown. By closing the gap and avoiding the longer-range punches, Roach might be able to neutralize Tank's power and force him into a more uncomfortable position, just as Tyson was forced to adapt when opponents got too close. This technique, according to Showbiz, is something only Roach knows in its full detail, and it could be the key to defeating one of boxing's brightest stars.
This is a secret Lamont Roach knows. Tank can go get you if you're running away, because Tank is very good at knowing the distance where he has most leverage on his punches. If you think about Mike Tyson is strange to say, but he wasn't great with his power when he was very close on the inside. Mike Tyson was a mid-range puncher. That's why Mike Tyson could go in from a distance and step in and knock you out. But when y'all close, Mike Tyson didn't really have all his power in there. Neither does Tank. So if you're backing up, Tank can go get you. Other than that, Tank has to counter you. That's how Tank knocked out Rolly. That's how Tank knocked out Ryan Garcia. That's how Tank hurt Mario Barrios and started that shit, that snowball. That's how Tank knocked out Leo Santa Cruz. That's why Tank talks so much. He needs you punching.
Gervonta Davis has made some bold statements in recent interviews asserting that while Mike Tyson possesses both power and skills, he himself has the whole package in boxing. Davis believes his combination of punching power and boxing IQ is superior to Tyson's, claiming that his understanding of the sport and ability to adapt inside the ring make him a more complete fighter. By saying this, Gervonta seems to be positioning himself as not only a powerful puncher, but also a strategist, someone who can read the ring and control the fight at a higher level than Tyson did in his prime. However, Gervonta's comments raise questions about what exactly he's trying to prove. Mike Tyson is widely regarded as one of the most fearsome and skilled boxers in history, with an unparalleled combination of speed, power, and ferocity that revolutionized the heavyweight division. Tyson's legacy is built on his dominance during the late 1900 ADS, and his ability to intimidate opponents before they even stepped into the ring. For someone like Davis, still in the prime of his career, to claim that he surpasses Tyson in terms of boxing IQ and overall skill can be seen as both a bold challenge and a controversial assertion by downplaying Tyson's accomplishments and focusing on his own abilities. Davis might be trying to elevate his own status in the eyes of boxing fans. It's possible that he wants to distance himself from the comparisons to Tyson and carve out his own legacy as a fighter who can do it all. However, this also risks coming off as disrespectful to a man who has cemented his place in boxing history as a true legend.
You feel like you're the mini Mike Tyson?
Nah.
So he knocked people out real quick. You knock people out real quick.
Yeah, but I can knock you out like...
So you saying that you can knock him out faster than Mike Tyson, probably, if it was a challenge?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like, Mike Tyson got power and skills. I feel as though like I have like the whole package. Like I have, Mike Tyson don't have, like, you know? I think so.
So, what's your message to Brandon?
Who?
Brandon.
What Brandon?
I don't know. Brandon is the nigga that whipped my ass. If you could say something to him real quick.
When we catch you, Brandon, we gonna get up with you.
There has been a lot of talk lately about the similarities between Mike Tyson and Gervonta Davis, with many people drawing comparisons between the two. However, with Tyson reportedly helping Lamont Roach in his camp for the highly anticipated rematch with Tank, this development could give Roach a significant advantage. Tyson's experience and insight into the ring could prove valuable, offering Roach strategies to counter Tank's strengths. Tyson's legendary status as a boxer makes his involvement in Roach's camp a game changer, potentially giving Roach the edge he needs in the rematch. According to Showbiz, the adult Tank is likely playing mind games with Roach, trying to confuse him ahead of the fight. Tank's confidence and psychological tactics are well known, and this could be an attempt to unsettle Roach before the rematch even takes place.
Is signed and ready to go for the rematch, correct?
Yeah, we signed, sealed, and delivered.
Y'all Tank plays so many head games, it's not even funny. Let me tell you something, bro. Lamont Roach has never been this big of a fighter before. Everyone knows Lamont Roach now. So he could be reaping the benefits of just enjoying his status of having that draw with Tank, while Tank is the one with the eye of the tiger. Tank is probably in the gym training his ass off and then sign the contract like, all right, we got to fight win. June, oh shit, let's hurry up and dash your ass. Sugar Ray Leonard did that to Roberto Duran. Duran was told that he had a fight in a couple weeks, and he was like, dude, I'm 190 pounds in Panama, which is why Roberto Duran was out of shape in the No Mas fight and was like, no mas. So Tank could be over there working, sign the contract in 3 weeks, and all of a sudden Lamont Roach got to put a training camp together.
Lamont Roach has proven himself to be a strong opponent with the potential to give Tank Davis a tough fight. In their first meeting, Roach pushed Tank to the limit, even making him take a knee. This moment showed that Roach can make Tank uncomfortable and break his rhythm, proving he has what it takes to fight at the top level. However, boxing is also a business. Even though Roach has the skills to challenge Tank, the sport is often controlled by promotions, opportunities, and matchups. His strong performance earned him respect. But in boxing, it's often the politics that decide who gets the next big fight, no matter how much potential a fighter has.
Lamont Roach definitely earned my respect tonight. Definitely one of the first fighters to put Tank to the test. Just matching fire with fire. That was a good fight. For me, I need to see a rematch ASAP. But yeah, Tank definitely took the knee, 100%. I see Roach winning that 7-5 personally. But boxing is business, so they were never going to let him have that win. Roach's timing was on point though. No easy knockouts tonight. The sharp counters, like, real, very good fighter, very good fighter. Let me know what you guys think, if that robbery was fair or not. Leave it in the comments.
Raul Sanchez, a well-known boxing trainer, has weighed in on the upcoming rematch between Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, offering his perspective on the outcome. While many believe that Tank will dominate in the rematch, Sanchez suggests that the first fight was simply a case of Tank having a bad night. He believes that Tank's performance was below his usual standards, and that the rematch will be a different story. Sanchez is confident that Tank will come into the ring more prepared and focused this time, making it easier for him to secure the win. Sanchez's comments reflect the belief that Tank's talent and skill level are far superior to Roach's, and that any struggles in the first fight were more due to Tank's lack of focus or off night, rather than Roach's abilities. Sanchez suggests that Tank has the tools to avoid the same.
Gervonta had a bad night. I look for a tough fight in the next fight, but I still see Gervonta winning. I think Gervonta will win in a little easier this time. But Roach is a heck of a fighter. He's going to give everybody a hard, anybody that fights is going to give a hard time. But I do think that Davis had an off night.
I spoke to Eddie Hearn and he said he wanted to make the Shakur-Tank fight straight away. Obviously now Tank's going into the rematch. That won't happen yet. But when it does happen, Eddie's still adamant that could happen this year or straight after the Roach fight. How do you see that fight playing out?
Between who?
Shakur and Tank.
I still think Tank is the elite in the division. It's a difficult fight also, but I don't think Shakur will be as difficult as Lamont Roach was.
Mikey Garcia expressed his belief that Gervonta Davis will win the rematch against Lamont Roach, largely because Tank will make the necessary adjustments to his strategy. Garcia pointed out that in their first fight, Tank didn't fight at his best and ended up giving away too many rounds. He believes Tank will come into the rematch more active and focused, making it easier for him to secure the win. Garcia is confident that Tank will take the lessons from the first fight and be more disciplined in the second, avoiding the mistakes that allowed Roach to gain some ground in their initial encounter. However, Garcia also gave credit to Roach for his performance, acknowledging that he exceeded expectations and even felt Roach was robbed of a victory, particularly in regard to a knockdown that was not counted. Garcia believes the controversy surrounding the first fight, especially the disputed knockdown, could work in Roach's favor by adding intrigue to their rivalry. This could lead to a potential trilogy where the fighters meet again, potentially creating more opportunities for Roach than he might have initially had. Garcia's remarks suggest that while Tank is favored to win the rematch, Roach's performance in the first fight should not be overlooked. The controversy and competitive nature of their rivalry could keep the door open for more exciting matchups between the two, possibly turning their story into a longer-lasting rivalry in the sport.
I think Tank wins in the rematch. Why? I think he'll make the right adjustments and he won't take too long to fight. He kind of gave a lot of the round away sometimes. I think he'll be more active and he'll win. But big props to Roach for his last fight and performance. Fuck, suppressed everybody. Right. I think he was robbed from the victory. Again, that knockdown should have been a knockdown. Right. But whatever, he gets a rematch, and maybe they get a third fight, after that. Who knows? Maybe it turns the market back out. Maybe it turns out to be another great fucking matchup, and they say, let's run it back. Right. And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or you never know. So hey, things happen for a reason, and I think he did really well in his first one. Hopefully he puts on a great fight, even if he were to lose, but in a great fight.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and stay informed. Stay tuned for more updates, and let's keep our news accurate.